We've taken down Georgia. We've taken down North Carolina. Now today we're going to talk about how hard is the state of Tennessee. I'm JB Gunner. This is the Legend of Teardrop. Let's do this. This is Teardrop, and welcome to New to the Wild. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so glad you're back. I'm JB Gunner, aka Teardrop, and today what we're going to be talking about is the difficulty of Tennessee. We've already done Georgia. We've already done North Carolina. Now, a little disclaimer before we get into this video. Part of the Smokies was Tennessee, but I decided to go ahead and talk about the Smokies in the North Carolina video, if that makes sense. So now we're going to be starting from Irwin going forward. And even though it's still kind of, you have some North Carolina moments and it's not real, just bear with me. Bear with me. So with all that being said, coming out of Irwin, it's a pretty easy go. You go. I mean, first of all, let me make this clear. Irwin is one of the most beautiful towns you'll come to. Anyway, on your way to Indian Grave Gap, it's a pretty easy ride. So the first day, you're probably gonna go all the way to Beauty Spot. Now, Beauty Spot is an amazing place. Beauty Spot is a beautiful place. So let's just say, and I would recommend all of you camp at Beauty Spot, actually, if the weather permits. It's a beautiful place. So let's just say you did that. That first day out of Irwin, Tennessee is going to be a relatively easy day. Maybe a 1 or 2 on the difficulty range. Probably more like a 1. Coming up from out of Beauty Spot, you're going to get the big boy, Unaka Mountain. Unaka Mountain is a challenge. It is a difficult mountain. It's one of your most difficult mountains you've had in a while. But bear with me. It's only, I believe that Unaka is, from going up it to going down it, is about a 3 to 4 mile area. You'll come down into the Cherry Gap Shelter, and then you'll go to Little Bald Knob. Little Bald Knob is not much to talk about. But what you're going to then do is probably go to Greasy Creek Hostel. Now, I want to say this about Greasy Creek Hostel. Greasy Creek Hostel is ran by a Jewish cat lady. This lady is fucking kick-ass. So, now, the hardest part of this day outside of Unaka Mountain, I'm going to tell you now, is the walk into Greasy Creek. Greasy Creek is about 0.6. It seems like it's more like 0.9 off the trail. But it's not. You're not going up anything. You're going down, and it's kind of a beautiful little hike. Now, I made that walk 2 times because I slack packed when I was there. So, to be perfectly honest, it's not the most. It's not the most luxurious walks to a hostel. Now, when you walk into this lady's hostel, I will tell you now, she has a lot of rules. She's a Jewish lady. Everything needs to be clean and kosher, as she puts it. But she goes on an honor system there. You can resupply. She has ice cold drinks. And once you get to know her, at first, when I first walked in there, I was like, oh, shit. Cuckoo. But then I got to really sit down and talk to her, and I love that lady. Just being honest with you, she will grow on you and become one of your favorite people along the Appalachian Trail. That's my opinion, and of course you may have a different opinion. Now, coming out of Greasy Creek Hostel, you'll get Clyde Smith Shelters right there, but you'll get up to Little Rock Knob. That's a nice little climb. Now that previous day going into Greasy Creek, I'm gonna give it a 2 because of maybe 3 because of Unaka Mountain and then the walk into the hostel. You'll be somewhat exhausted when you get into that hostel just because of the walk into the hostel. All right, so Little Rock Knob, and then so I would say from Greasy Creek you're probably gonna make your way to Roan High Knob. I'd say Roan High Knob Shelter. Now you're gonna do Little Rock Knob, but the big one here is I believe that's Roan Mountain. No, that's not Roan Mountain. Yeah, I believe it's Roan Mountain. Yeah. If I'm remembering right, yeah, the chimney remnants there. Yeah, this is Roan Mountain. Roan Mountain has the Roan High Knob Shelter. This is the highest shelter on the Appalachian Trail, I believe. You reach over 6,000 feet on this. But I will tell you now, Roan Mountain is relatively easy. And what you're about to go into once you come down from Roan Mountain is beautiful. So coming up from Greasy Creek, because of the 2, I will give this day 3.5, maybe even a 4, just because at the end you're doing Roan Mountain. But I will say this: at Roan Mountain, if you go a little further than the shelter, you will see that there is a parking lot there. There is a indoor bathroom there. There's trash cans so you can dump out everything. I really enjoyed that portion. Not as much as I did the Highlands, which is coming up. Now, coming down Roan High Knob, from Roan High Knob, you got kind of a roller coaster of things. You got Jane Bald, which is really big actually, which is really high up. It's 5790. You have Round Bald. You have some very interesting shit because now what you're doing is you're in the Highlands. I love you're in the Roan Highlands. I love this area personally myself. Uh, and you're gonna come over to, and let's just say you're gonna stop at Over Mountain Shelter. It's the barn. Everybody loves it. I would recommend it. It is very mouse filled, so be careful. Without a shadow of a doubt. So you get to Over Mountain Shelter. This day is one of the absolute most beautiful days. I think it's like 4 miles of exposed ridge line. You see it is amazingly beautiful. So just because the beauty takes away the effort that you have to put into on this day, I'm going to give it a 1 in terms of difficulty. But this section is well worth everything. Very, very beautiful. All right, then you're going to go, let's just say you're going to go from Over Mountain. And this is also, when you leave Over Mountain, you're going to leave North Carolina for the final time. I know what you're saying, but you're in Tennessee, JB. Just fucking trust me. It's weird shit. You will see North Carolina sign. You will never touch foot in North Carolina again once you get to Doll Flats. But before you get there, you got Hump Mountain. That's a difficult place. The Stan Murray plaque is also there. All right, so now you come down. You hit Doll Flats. I love this region. I love this entire region is my favorite section, even above Max Patch. No, there's no doubt about it. I would love to do this section again. All right, so then you get down to the Elk Park area, the Elk River, Isaac Cemetery. You got open ridge views along this path, but now you're getting to Mountaineer Shelter. Now you're at the 400-mile mark. This is a really easy region for me. I just really thought it was easy. So I'm going to give it maybe a 2 till you get to Mountaineer Shelter. Mountaineer Shelter, is this the motherfucking shelter with them damn flying squirrels? Be careful. In this region, just be careful. Now, from this point, from Mountaineer Shelter all the way into Laurel Fork Shelter or Moreland Gap, we'll say Moreland Gap Shelter, it's pretty easy. Well, that's the way we'll go. Now, I will tell you this. There are rocks in this region you didn't expect them. You did not expect them. They do have the hardcore cascades here, which that's something that Bob Peoples, I believe, helped with. But there are a shitload of rocks in this region. So even though it looks flat and there's not a whole lot of climbing, the rocks slow you down. And the rocks actually make it hard. You have to pay attention or you will bust your ass. So for that reason alone, I'm going to give it a 2. Okay, you get to Moreland Gap Shelter. Moreland Gap, now you do got some climbs here. You go up a little bit, then you got Rocks Mountain, but then you get to see Coondin Falls if you decide to go that path. You come all the way down to Dennis Cove Road. That's where all the hostels are. That's where you can go to Kincora. That's where you can go to that bear place, whatever the fuck it's called. But you're going to keep going because where you're going to want to go here is to Boots Off Hostel in Hampton. Now, where the hell is Oh, we forgot to talk about this. At Roan Mountain, Tennessee, which is before you get to Mountaineer Shelter. I forgot to even talk about that. Go ahead. I would recommend doing the hostel at, what the hell was that place? Damn, what the hell is that place? Not great. No, shit, man. The Mountain Harbor. Mountain Harbor suck. I mean, they're not very friendly. But I would recommend going there, paying the $25, getting the hostel, or $20, whatever it was. But like I said, when you're coming down from Moreland Gap, you're gonna head on into Hampton. Hampton, Boots Off, gym over at Boots Off. It's a great place. Boots Off Hostel is my favorite hostel in this region. Kincora looks a little iffy. I did meet the owner of the bear place, the fucking Black Bear Resort. I did meet him, so I haven't been there yet, but he seems like his place has got some class. Either way, you're getting beer, and that's really, let's just be honest here, that's really all that matters. So now, coming out of Hampton, you're going to go up a big motherfucker. You're going to go up about 2,000 feet. You're going to go up to Pond Flats. Pond Flats is definitely, this whole region is actually pretty good, but this was a little difficult once you get up to Pond Flats. But then you come back into the Watauga Lake Shelter area. I would recommend staying at Watauga Lake that night. However, the problem with Watauga Lake is the last couple of years it's been a bear problem. It was this year. It was closed. I didn't give a fuck, but we ain't going to talk about that. But at the end of the day, Watauga Bear, Watauga, once you get there, you can see why it probably is the case. That place looks like a bear sanctuary, honestly. All right, so moving on. Let's say you leave Watauga and you start making your way towards Vendor. Is that where you want to go? I don't think so. I think we're going to go to Iron Mountain. Yeah, we're going to go to Iron Mountain. Iron Mountain, no, Iron Mountain Shelter. Now, this whole day to Iron Mountain Shelter is a breeze. There's a little bit of ascension. There's a little bit of shit that'll take it. But really, it's just a 2, maybe even a 3, but more likely a 2. Iron Mountain Shelter, I believe that's the place with them fucking flying squirrels. And that's what everybody calls them. We don't know if it's really that case or not, but they will get your food bags. Everybody that was in camp for the most part with me when I was there got their food bags fucked. I'm pretty sure that's where it was. Yeah. So now you're going to go from Iron Mountain Shelter to Abingdon Gap Shelter. Now, by the way, you're about to go into Virginia here soon. Let me make this clear. The last 30 miles, probably 32, 33 miles of Tennessee is the easiest miles you will do on the entire trail. It's up to this point. It is the easiest 30 mile you can, if you are a good, solid hiker and you do it from, and you want to put in 15 hours, you can do all 30 of these miles in the same day. There's no doubt about it. So you go from Iron Mountain, and then you essentially go down into the Tennessee 91, and then you come up. Oh man, I forgot about this. Then you come up, and I believe there is a cow pasture right here, which that was definitely a new experience for me. But then you go to Abingdon Gap Shelter. Let's just say you stop there. That whole area is easy, but now once you're in Abingdon Gap, it's smooth sailing. Okay, so from Iron Mountain to Shelter to Abingdon Gap, I give a 1. From Abingdon Gap to Damascus, I give a 0. Because it's literally a flat walk all the way into Damascus. You're pumped up. You're ready to go. So, what are my thoughts on Tennessee? Tennessee is easier than North Carolina. Tennessee is easier than Georgia. That's the truth. Out of all 3 states that we've done, Tennessee is the easiest. Georgia, I gave a 3.5 or 4 because of your conditioning. North Carolina, I gave a 3, maybe 3.5. And Tennessee, as an entire state, I give a 2. Tennessee is substantially easier than than the first 2 states. Tennessee, but here's the thing, Tennessee is more beautiful than those other 2 states. You thought the beauty picked up in North Carolina, and you were fucking right. But it goes, now once you've been to Tennessee, you've seen, now it's really improving. Now, the sad part is you're about to go into Virginia, which we'll talk about another time. But Tennessee, North Carolina, Georgia, finished. So currently, my ranking is Georgia 1, North Carolina 2, Tennessee 3 in terms of difficulty. This is a series. So if you haven't seen the other videos, make sure you go back, check them out. Hit the like button, share the shit, give your comments. Let me know what your thoughts are on Tennessee. Do you think it's as easy as I thought it did? Maybe it's just because my trail legs were there. Or really, were they really? Because remember, I had left for months and then came back. I really didn't have my trail legs. But I really think Tennessee was easier. So put your comments in the comment section. Let me know what your thought is on Tennessee. How difficult was Tennessee for you? I thought it was easy as fuck. Maybe even easier than Virginia so far, from what I've seen in Virginia. Just saying. All right. I'm out of here, guys. I'm Teardrop. Bye, bitches.